Do you see I'm doing graffiti?
It looks like graffiti.
Yes, but it's not. Graffiti, this is what I call free line, where you draw a line and from out of that line you can get all these images. Salvador Dali called it schizophrenia or something that had to do with psychology. Graffiti can go that way if they become creative, you know. It can go beyond graffiti. Graffiti has been around like since the 70s, and much of it hasn't changed. It doesn't matter what you want. Let's think about 10, 20 years from now, what all the kids are going to come out with. I think what it is because I arrived in a neighborhood that was so bad that not even crazy people would like to live in Pilsen. You have no idea what happened in the 70s. Nobody wants to talk about it. They all talk about how happy Mexican people are with their tamales and their atoles, but no. Pilsen has a history of violence and greed. The Mexicans and the blacks were the only guys in Chicago that destroyed the youth by selling drugs. It didn't happen with other races, not among the Italians, not among the Irish. They're not that stupid. But you should have walked the streets of Pilsen in the 70s. Where kids would kill each other right in the middle of the day. 3, 4 every week. Guns everywhere. And one of the reasons why we lost Pilsen is because nobody really set roots in the neighborhood. We like to blame it on the white man, we like to blame it on this and that. But, you know, I mean, I've seen it all, right? I'm 70 years old, what the hell? I should speak. I never saw the Mexicans, the business people, the ones that have money, they even have their own planes. I never saw them build anything to last. I never saw them buy entire blocks, you know, so they can pass it on to their kids or leave one stone at least. They didn't leave nothing. They all think about going back to Mexico. It's true. So there is really no roots, solid roots, in Pilsen to claim that the neighborhood was ours. What we had an eternal poor neighborhood because of the traffic of people coming from Mexico. Extremely poor. And there is one of the reasons, what I say is that Pilsen is the only neighborhood in Chicago where mañana never came. It's true. My neighborhood ended up looking like one little town, worse than a little town in Mexico.
So, what do you make then of gentrification in Pilsen today? Do you lament the arrival of big money, big developers? Do you embrace it? What's your take on gentrification?
On a personal level, I tell you what happened. I had a little painting in this Mexican restaurant, very famous. I'm not going to say the name. And I left it there so he could maybe buy it someday or sell it. He didn't do either. One day I go and he said, the waiter, she goes, Marcos, the owner told me to take your painting with you. I go, what? He goes, because he found out you're eating somewhere else. I go, okay. I grab my painting. I don't say nothing. And I walk out. How I ended up in this bar, it's called Harvey's Bar. It's by like things that happen to me. It's like magic. I don't know the guy. He says, my name is so-and-so. I just opened the bar. It belonged to my uncle. This bar has been here since the 1800s, one of the oldest in Chicago, Harvey's Bar. And I showed him my dog. He says, how much? And I sold it to him. So that was the beginning of a nice relationship. The man is white. I don't care. The guy is educated. Not only that, he's a real collector. And I didn't know that either. I said, look, I have an opening for you. I'll have an opening for your bar, and I'll bring the people. But I'm not going to come and bring my paintings and hang them and don't buy nothing. So you're going to have to buy stuff from me. He goes, yeah. To make it short, and up until now, he's still buying. When you walk into that bar, it looks like my private museum. I saw him a painting not long ago for $60,000, which is, the more I sell, the more I think, there's nothing. because my work should go to $300,000. And it worked. He got my son playing music for us because he's a musician. It was crowded, and today is the bar. Okay. So to all those kids that are, protesting about this and that, obviously they will say a little something like, "I sold out." One thing they don't understand and they don't want to know is, of the 50 years that I've been in Pilsen, I have never, ever sold a painting to one single Mexican. Why? Because I don't do taco art. That's simple. Should I go down to the level of their understanding of what culture is? No, I shouldn't. I'd rather become something else or sell paletas or something. I'll give you an example. Some guy introduced me to this guy who is about to open up another restaurant. The guy has money, and he told me, these guys are from Jalisco, watch out. I go, oh, but they have money. And I says, well, I'm gonna go and see. Maybe they change. Maybe now it's a different generation. I go into his restaurant, and wow, looks almost like as big as a McDonald's, And I says, well, you got two walls over here, you got two walls over there. And I say, what do you think, what do you want to do? He goes, well, we should show the Mexican culture, we're so proud of it. And I says, okay, so what are you thinking? He goes, well, how about a pyramid over there and some Aztecs, oh my God.
Wrong answer.
I go, but listen to this, and that's how they have been all these years. I say, I was thinking of someone else. I say, I'll give it to someone else. They don't care what they pay as long as they get paid. The taco artists. I go, so how much do you think you're thinking of? What's your budget? He goes, budget? Well, what do you mean? I thought you would bring here your stuff to share to the people, free. And they have always been like that. They think it's free. Somebody went around not charging for all these years, so they think it's free. Any stuff that you see hanging in any cafe, in any restaurant in Pilsen, is given. They didn't buy them. Nobody likes to buy art. No matter if you're poor or rich, they don't buy art. Okay? So I said, oh my God, I went all disgusted. A couple of weeks ago, I was looking for a Social Security office, and I ended up right next to the restaurant. And I went in I should have taken a picture. Oh my God, ugly fucking shit, man. All fucking ugly. Like Aztecs with baseball players, like the Cubs. It's just disgusting stuff. I go, how low can we get? Why? Who do you protest to? Why they ended up that way? I keep asking myself that question.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you another big one. How would you get people out of that mentality of looking for the taco art, whether it's artists, business owners, tourists, anyone? How do we get people more serious about what they want to see in Pilsen?
I suppose we will have to start revising everything that comes out in the media, which is impossible because the media loves that shit. To give the people what they want. And of course, what they think they want is garbage. When you walk into any store like the one in the corner of my house, or any other store, Mexican store, you will see the same thing. It's like, what the fuck is this? They're all either watching a soap opera or soccer. All day. What does that tell you? It's been around for a long time. It's what keeps people ignorant. The beginnings of Guadalupe, the pseudo-religious thing, the Day of the Dead, it's all part of this I don't know what I call it. It's just, I'm disgusted with it.
My last set of questions would be about advice for us as researchers. We're interested in Pilsen, we're interested in public art in Pilsen. What should we be looking at? What advice do you have for us as researchers?
You know, I personally, if they would ask me to go in the neighborhood and do a drive-by and look at all the murals, what would I do if I had a job to either make new ones or erase them? I would probably erase 50 to 60% of the murals in Pilsen and start all over again. Because you got out of hand, it became there is no reason for them to exist, especially now. There is a building on 16th Street, and it has the same history of Kazakhstan, which is this. The local activist, the guy is the other man now, he was demanding for 80% of affordable housing inside Kazakhstan, which is totally absurd. The owner says, I might as well just give it to you, don't you think? And of course to repaint the mural. So they did get the money to repaint the mural, but they did not get nothing in regards to a affordable housing. So the guy came from San Francisco, he got his money and closed case. He left us, to me, one of the worst murals in Chicago. Now there is another house on 16 in Carpenter. It has a really little Aztec designs. When they rebuilt the building, beautiful big building, they promised affordable housing, a mural, you know, blah, blah. So you go and you stand in front of the building. There is no Mexicans coming out of the building. It's all white people. There is no affordable housing. But they have a mural by a local artist. Big copy of a fucking Aztec calendar. If I was a tenant of that building, I would protest. And I said, why do I have to deal with this? It has nothing to do with me. And they have the right. One of the problems with Mexicans is we don't put ourselves on the shoes of the other person.
What does that mean?
Meaning that we don't see ourselves doing wrong. That everything we do is for Mexico, you know. But no, there is a lot of things that don't make any sense. For instance, let's say that we're in my little town, and out of the blue, these 1,000 gringos move into my town, and they build their own museum. But they only want gringos for sure. In my town, there's a position of the Mexican Museum right now. He only shows Mexicans. And he refused to show anyone else, or he does not want anything to do with contemporary or modern art. And that stops people from growing. It stops Mexicans from competing with everybody else. And it shows last year how most of the city of Chicago got a good exhibit of what they've been doing, but not us. Our local artists are bombs. My compadre, who is one of the best, that's why I made him my compadre, because I thought he was going to be the king of muralists. Poor guy doesn't even have a bed to sleep in. But the news and the media always talk about these imaginary murals in Pilsen, and the muralist isn't dead, and we don't get it. The muralists don't get no respect. Muralists are the less pay in the neighborhood. And I've seen this throughout my life. And you ask me that question, how did I survive? And when we talk about this, you know, why do I sound upset? Because it's upsetting. Nobody's writing the history that I know. It's all about imaginary fiestas and fiesta people. The true identity of Mexicans who live in Chicago, for instance, like the history of my mom who worked in a factory all her life, or the Chica deported. Those histories, they're not there. And to top it up, it's all covered by pseudo. I'm sure it's this is taco art. Look, this is my this is my manifesto of anti-taco art.
How is this a manifesto against taco? It's using all those tropes and.
This is the repetitious type of thing that you see in Pearson for the last 50 years, without any chance of changing, and taking us into the 21st century, including Frida. See?
Guadalupe.
Now, the question again is this. Does this show the experience of being a Mexican in Chicago? Do we glorify Chicago as our town? No. Do we criticize Chicago because of its racist policies? No. None of that.
Sorry, just got to get a picture of you.
So, do I get my point?
I get your point, definitely. I just want to ask you a last question, and thank you again so much for your time and all of your honest opinions. What comes next for you?
I'm having an exhibit at this new gallery in the North Side, and it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be political, no. So that's why I did this one for them, and I have some of the other political pieces, some large pieces and installations. I spoke to Wesley Himmler, who's probably the most famous and prominent artist in Chicago right now. I went to his studio. He's a giant studio, and he invited me to show with him. Mm-hmm. And it's an honor to be, with a god like him.
Where will that show be? I'm sorry.
In his space.
Okay.
And it's funny because where he has his studio. If you want to talk about the gallery district, it's like it doesn't exist right now. They keep moving. Yeah. But some of those big names, they just moved next to his studio. Because like